people, it's Sakeena, your girl, bringing you back to my traditional love, Ghana. You all know that I'm a true Ghanaian, as my mum and dad and my family say, undiluted Ghana. So I'm keeping it real, I'm keeping it rough, I'm keeping it raw, and I'm keeping it down to the base, and I'm bringing you information of how to know about, not just us Ghana people, but how to know about Ghanaians full stop and our tradition in cloth. So come with me, let's take a look. We're back in class. Back in classes. Anyway, forget me. So in terms of talking about different cloths, not just this shop, but it's very typical or popular for a lot of stores and shops in Ghana of how they sell their cloth according to price point. You know, some places you go into the shop, you can start off with the most cheapest at the front, most expensive at the back, or vice versa. For instance, in this shop, this is how they lay it out. So we will come into a shop like this, and we will start with the Chinese brand at the bottom. Now, depending on the rate of the exchange at the time, you may find that the cloths range between 35, 38, but currently today, the Chinese cloths are ranging around 40 Ghana cedis. So this whole bottom row is 40 Ghana cedis, and then we work our way up, and we're building up with the brands. When we're looking up here, we're talking brands that are more in the range of 70 Ghana cedis. 75, sorry, not 70, 75 Ghana cedis per 6 yards. It's very important to state, it's not 12 yards, it's not 3 yards, it's not 1 yard, it's 6 yards. Taking the most highest price point up to 75 Ghana cedis, and as you can see, our new style GTP brand is at the top. Now moving across, if we come this way, we're moving on to the more designer of the brand. So over this side, yes, we have New Style, but we also have new GTP, Adepa, and we have all these other brands as well, which are what you would call the designer brands of those companies, and they move along in price point too much. For instance, how much is Adepa? It's 130. So Adepa 6 yards is 120 currently on the exchange rate. So you can see from a New Style GTP, 75 Ghana cedis for 6 yards, moving over to Adepa GTP for 120 Ghana cedis for 6 yards. You may say, that's a keen, 120 is too much. You're buying quality. Now there's something that we haven't mentioned before, is quality. I'm not going to diss anybody, I'm not going to put anybody down, but it's a known fact, I've experienced it myself, where I have bought cheaper cloths in the past because knowledge wasn't wisdom to me then. That I bought cheaper cloths, and unfortunately the product spoiled, or it doesn't last as long, because not because of the seam of where it's been produced, but the tension that's been applied to the fabric allows the fabric to spoil with the cheaper cloths. But when I bought into my Ghana brands, they last, and when I say they last, they last. I've had my grandma's cloths handed to me, and they still work today. Still strong, still going proper, because they're Ghana cloths. So that's how you get to know about price points and how you identify what the prices look like in the Ghana market of how to buy your Ghana cloths. So far, little recap, we've talked about a few things. We've talked about how you find out to identify true made in Ghana. When I say made in Ghana, they are truly made, designed, handcrafted, manufactured, all in Ghana. So when it says made in Ghana, it is made in Ghana. And then we have Chinese brands, which are more than likely a photograph copy of a Ghana brand, or a photograph copy of someone else's design, or sometimes it's a design but it's been done as a scan production. But I'm not going to go into all of that. Y'all know what I'm talking about. So other things and other ways to know about Ghana cloth, and I'm not going to bore you too much because this is a little small one, is names. Now traditionally, I know that one of my grandmas, she used to sell cloth right here in Mokala Market, and traditionally when they sold cloths years and years ago, there wasn't as many styles as there were today. So cloths had a name, they had a meaning, and you wouldn't just wear a random cloth like I'm wearing today just for anything. Every occasion had a meaning for their cloth. So if I was going to a wedding, I would wear a particular wedding cloth name. If I was going to a funeral, so on and so forth. If I was going to a different place, they all had their meaning for where you're going to wear that cloth to. But now, because we are dealing with designers, truly, we're dealing with designers. The productions have been done based on designs, not necessarily the names. However, there are still a few names in production, and what you may find is that you will see a lot of cloths that are similar to each other, but they come under the one name. So for instance, we've got some Ghana cloths here, and I'm not going to front. I don't speak hardly any Ghana languages. I speak Ga, that's it. And I'm not going to embarrass myself here and try and say I know the names. So over to Ma. So Ma, so what's this one called? And who is this by? Did you hear that? That's why I'm not going to say it. So this is a GTP cloth, and it's called, say it one more time, say it a little bit louder.
And this one.
I'm not putting subtitles, but get the gist. And this is another GTP cloth, and this one is called
Asobahere.
Let me try.
Asobahere.
Asobahere. If there's any Ghanaians watching this, sorry, eh? Okay, and what else have we got, Ma? I'm trying. This is another GTP cloth, isn't it, Ma? And what's this one called?
Asasa.
Asasa.
This is the Felicia.
So what Ma has just said, this is the tree, she said it, and I'm trying to see my tree is starting to come back. This is a design of trees and flowers with some staircases, and it's called a sasata. But you will also find with some China cloths, they've taken this particular cloth, I've seen it on the market, and they've taken different areas of this cloth. For instance, they've taken the plant formation and the flower formation as one cloth. Then they've also got the stair formation as another cloth. But we'll come on to that so you get to see that. And then it's going to be heavy.
High Life.
And this one's called High Life.
Yeah, High Life.
And this cloth, GTP, is called High Life. I'm not talking the music, I'm not talking Bisakede, I'm not talking AB Crensil, I'm talking cloth, High Life. So this is another one. So there's just a few highlights and examples of how to identify Ghana cloth in the different names.
Oh.
So that's the Ghana cloths. So let's not forget our Chinese counterparts, because they're producing stuff on the market. They've got quite a few as well, so bear with us. Okay, there we go. So here we have a few more of Chinese cloths. Ma, which is this one called? This one's called Life. It's just called Life, but you can start to see, as I go through them, there's a trend that some of the Chinese cloths names have been taken from the original made in Ghana cloth. So this one's called Life. Previous one I mentioned was called High Life. Wahoo. So Ma, this one is called
Asobahere.
This one's called a Sabariri. Now where's the one that we spoke about? This one. This one was called This one is called Asasa. And with this Asasa, this is where I said before that you will see some of the Chinese cloths will take some of the prints from it. So for instance, this print here, which is the whole body of this Chinese cloth, has been taken from Asasa, which is the GTP cloth just in this part here. And then we've got everybody's favorite, everybody knows this one. If you don't know, you better get to know. Chinese cloth comes in plenty colors. And this one is called Angelina. So you see a lot of tops made for men and women and dresses that are on, you see them a lot of, loads of different brands using it around the world, saying this is Ghana cloth, this is traditional African cloth. It's lies. This is Chinese cloth and it's called Angelina. So this is the name of this particular cloth that everybody's been talking about. Ma, this one is called This one is called Ryaku. Did I say it right? Ma, you're speaking Ghanaian there. Okay, say it one more time. Say it again. What is the meaning of that? Because I feel there's a meaning of it. It's a girl name. I'm not going to embarrass myself, but it's got a meaning anyway. Maybe I'll tell you one day what it means. But again, this is a Chinese cloth, and that's what it's called. I'm not going to repeat it because I'm going to embarrass my Ghanaian self by trying to mention something I don't know. This one is called Felicia, and this is Felicia. Again, another Chinese cloth. So some of the names that you get to know a lot is Angelina, and Felicia, because they're so popular and they come in an array of colours. For instance, Angelina I think comes in about 12 colours, for instance. So you get to see why people produce it a lot more, and it's much more cheaper to produce. And if you're lucky, you can probably get 1 yard of the cloth for maybe 7 or 8 cedis a yard as well. So talking about cloths, talking about tradition, talking about Ghana traditional cloths, there are 3 major colour codes for traditional Ghana cloth. And I'm not talking today's standards, I'm talking traditionally as we're talking tradition. How many times am I going to say tradition? Let's count. Anyway, and they are, for instance, these ones here, they're the blue and white kind of range of colours. And traditionally, they were your church colours, or we're into a ceremony. These are the everyday traditional colours, these blue and white ones. Then moving over, so the second one out of the 3 is the black and red colours. The black and red colours are traditionally used for funeral colours. These are the colours that, depending on the clan you are from, when I say clan, get to know about Ghana, we come in different clans. But anyway, if you're definitely Ghana and you're from the Bese tribe, if I said that properly, please people, Ghana people, please don't kill me, or don't hit me. So the black and the red is traditionally used for a funeral as a sign of respect that you would wear to someone's funeral that you love. That is the colour that you would wear traditionally. Now in Ghana you have the funeral, and then you also have the celebration service to celebrate the life of that individual, and the colour you would wear there is black and white. So you would be looking at these kind of colours. So traditionally, if you are looking at traditional Ghana colours for a funeral, you'll be wearing black and red, and then you'll move into your black and white for celebration. And that's it, folks. That's your top tips on how to identify true Ghana traditional cloth. So keep it real, keep it Ghana, keep it alive.